What's going on, Sports Nation? Welcome back to another video, and today we are back with another Saturday night sports movie review. And tonight, we are going to do the 90s classic baseball movie, The Sandlot. If you're a baseball fan, I would imagine any baseball fan has seen this movie. It's just a classic, hilarious movie. I believe it was released in 1993. I believe that was the year it came out. And it's just, even to this day, it's just a classic baseball movie that revolves around Scotty Smalls not having many friends in the very beginning. And then obviously, throughout the movie, he meets all these guys, and they play baseball pretty much every day. I believe the movie was set in 1962 in California, and the whole premise of the movie was that they play on this field that they call the Sandlot. And they don't really play an actual game. They just kind of throw the ball back between each other. They make their own game pretty much, but they're still really good baseball players. And Scotty Small shows up one day, I believe gets hit with a baseball. They all laugh at him, he goes back home. But then this guy here on the left, Benny Rodriguez, invites him back to play because they needed a ninth guy. So he comes back and he starts playing with him. He eventually gets pretty good. And then the classic scene was the insult scene that Ham traded with Phillips. I believe that is probably the most iconic scene in this whole movie, where they just throw just a bunch of childish insults back at each other, and they eventually agree to play a game of baseball in which the Sandlot team wins. And to celebrate that, they go to this carnival, and they just get absolutely high on something. I don't remember, but it is hilarious. That carnival scene was very interesting. That is probably one of the... I remember watching that movie back and having no clue that scene had happened. I just remembered the insult scene, and I remembered most of the movie, but I did not remember that carnival scene one bit, which was very, very hilarious. And Scotty Smalls, starts off not having many friends, and these kids don't have a lot of money, and so they all save up to buy a baseball that they play with every day. And they play until they lose the baseball, which normally until they hit it over the fence into the beast's yard. That's what they called the dog, who normally ate most of their baseballs if they got over the fence. And so one day they got it over the fence very early in the day, and so they were all sad. They were going to go home. And then I believe Scotty ran home, grabbed a baseball that he didn't know it was his stepdad's, and he didn't know it was signed by Babe Ruth because he didn't know much about baseball. And he grabbed a ball signed by Babe Ruth. None of the players realized it was signed, so they all just start playing with it, and that one eventually goes over the fence. And all the guys are like, oh, it's no big deal. And then Scotty Small says, I have to get that back. That was signed for my dad. And they were like, who signed it? And then Scotty goes, some guy named Babe Ruth. And then they all just lose their minds trying to get that ball back. Which I believe they eventually did, but it was all chewed up. So Scotty had to make a fake one just to hold in place until he can find another one, which obviously he won't find another one. But eventually, they go into the beast's backyard, they find out it's a dog, the dog chases them around, and then eventually his owner comes out. I believe his name was Mr. Myrtle, and then he invites them inside, and it turns out that this guy played with Babe Ruth and is also a baseball legend, and he has just this shrine of just all kinds of autographs and everything. And so he gives Scotty Smalls an autographed baseball, I believe, with a bunch of different players on it, which satisfies his stepdad. And it was just a very nice ending. I don't think anyone expected that the dog's owner, to be a former baseball player that played with Babe Ruth. Obviously, it was a fantasy character, but still very interesting. And I still love this movie to the date. I will watch it every once in a while. It's a good watch. You guys should watch it. I absolutely recommend you guys watch it. Let me know suggestions for next week's Saturday night sports movie review, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.